Hello, glad to have you join us. This is Platform. I'm Ruth Aguela. Women have been an increasingly important part of modern policing, bringing unique skills and perspectives that enhance professionalism, improve community relations, and increase accountability. Now, the Nigerian Police Force recognizes the role of women officers in redefining the law enforcement with a sense of purpose and humanity, and is set to celebrate 70 years of women in policing, a feat marking 7 decades of courage, resilience, and dedicated service since the first set of police women were enlisted in 1955. Now, this milestone underscores the vital role of women in strengthening law enforcement and fostering community trust across the nation. No doubt, women in the force have consistently demonstrated exceptional contributions to the operational success and public image of the force. The Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, has commended their invaluable contributions to the operational effectiveness and public image of the force, as they continue to be an integral part to the foundation of policing in Nigeria. In his words, and I quote, he described them as pillars of integrity, empathy, and excellence, end of quote. So, as Nigeria Police Force gears up to celebrate 70 years of women in the force, our focus will be on assessing the 7 decades of women in policing in Nigeria. And our guest is AIG Aishatu Abubakar MNI. She's the force gender advisor to the Inspector General of Police. Thank you so much for joining us, AIG.
Thank you very much, Ruth, for having me on this
And
program.
congratulations.
Thank you very much.
All right. Before we bring in our panelists, I'd like to take you through AIG Dr. Aishatu Abubakar Baju's profile. She earned her doctorate of veterinary medicine degree from Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. That was in 1994, and obtained a PhD from the University of Plymouth, UK. That was in 2007. She was commissioned into the Nigeria Police Force in 1995 as an assistant superintendent of police. AIG Baju has had a distinguished career, serving 6 sitting Nigerian presidents between 1996 to 2001 and then 2007 to 2015. The presidential villa. She has held several operational and administrative positions across various police commands. She is a visiting lecturer at Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, with several national and international scholarly publications to her name. And in 2005, she was honored with the prestigious UNESCO Laurel Fellowship Award for Young Women in Science, being one of only 15 recipients worldwide. Her distinguished service has been recognized with multiple national and international honors and awards. AIG Baju is the immediate past president of the Veterinary Council of Nigeria, making history as the first female to occupy the position since the council's establishment in 1953. She is also a fellow of the College of Veterinary Surgeons in Nigeria and the Chartered Institute of Local Government and Public Administration of Nigeria. And recently, she made another historic milestone. Sec 44 says that they're immensely, that is for the Sec 44 Monitor General elected inaugural President of Association of African Women in Law Enforcement. And Sec 44 says they're immensely proud to announce that their Monitor General, AIG Aishatu Abubakar Baju, MNI, has been elected unopposed as the inaugural president of the Association of African Women in Law Enforcement. This was in Johannesburg, South Africa. Congratulations. Just after over 3 years of dedicated efforts now, this historic election marks a transformative moment for women in law enforcement across Africa. I think we'll leave the profile there. Congratulations once again on your new appointment.
Thank you.
So our panelist on platform is one of our security correspondent here, the man who is the policeman himself in NTA, Francis Fom. It's good to have you on platform.
Thank you, Ruth. It's my pleasure.
Good to have you here.
Thank you.
So AIG, you're already a leading example of what a policewoman can do, you know, with the feats you've been recording so far. But I'd like to give a broader perspective of, Nigerian police women. who have been serving for 7 decades now. That's a lot. And when you look at the police officer, especially the women, there's just so much to admire about them. But I'd like you to take us through the journey, how it all began, if you can recall. How has it been so far?
Oh, thank you very much, Ruth, for having us and having this conversation. This, for us, celebration is very historic. And why I want to particularly thank the Inspector General of Police, IGP Kayode Adielu Egbetekum, NTM PhD, for taking that step to recognize the contribution of women. For the very first time in 70 years, the IG said, hey, women have done so much, and these 70 years we want to recognize these women, appreciate the contributions that they have made in policing in Nigeria. So I want to say a very big thank you to the IGP for this. He has done so many things, not just this one, but I think this is the icing on the cake. Well, the year was 1955.
Yes.
And the first set of women, 20 of them, were recruited into the Nigerian police force. It was historic. And recently, I've seen the parade of their passing out in Ikeja, Lagos. Has been trending on the social media. And we are also lucky that we still have at least one of the set of the class of 1955, DCP Stella Okoiga. I visited her 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
It's been a long journey with a lot of progress from when the women were just recruited into the force with limited responsibility of just being T-girls, telephone operators, and control of traffic for children to go to school, to full operational women police officers. In those days, you cannot go beyond the rank of a chief superintendent of police. Today, we've had deputy inspectors general of police in Nigeria, we've had AIGs, CPs, and we are occupying very strategic positions. And so I think it's a good journey. We have made tremendous contributions in various sectors of national security.
Okay, Awahi for she in the house.
All right, AIG, you've talked to us about some of the roles the earliest female police officers discharged.
Yes.
In the course of policing.
Yes.
So we will like you to talk to us on how this role has expanded.
The early women that were recruited into the force, they had very limited roles, from tea girls, serving tea in the office, telephone operators, and just traffic control for children. Today we have had, in those days, also according to the law, women were not allowed to carry rifle and so on and so forth. But today we have grown to the point where we have women, as I said. You can remember we had DIGs. At some point, we had DIG, Okoronkwa, then there's the 2IC, like almost assist deputy to she was the deputy, they call her 2IC to the IGP. So we have had women holding as, serving as commissioners of police at the state commands. We have had women AIGs at the zonal headquarters. We have women area commanders, we have women. In fact, in Abuja, currently now, the 3 area commanders in the Federal Capital Territory are women. The same thing if you go to Lagos, over 50% or 40 to 50% of the AIGs, area commanders in Lagos are women. DPOs, and they're performing wonderfully well. They're carrying arms, they're in operations. So I think we have actually moved.
Okay, AIG. So if we want to look at, some of the reforms, or you say policies that has redefined the law enforcement, particularly women's role in contributing to national security and enforcement of this law, how would you describe it, as their participatory role?
Okay, thank you. Once again, I will still want to appreciate IGP Kayode Egbetekum for the transformation he has brought, for engendering the Nigerian police force. So many changes are coming, so many policies. If you recall last year, when the Nigerian police hosted the IAWP conference, that's International Association of Women Police Conference in Abuja here,
yes,
where we had 22 countries coming. During that time, the IG launched the Nigerian Police Gender Policy, which was reviewed. We had it since 2010. And in that gender policy, we have 8 strategic areas. And one of them is also looking at the gender gap in the police, women in leadership position, addressing cases of gender-based violence, and making sure that gender is mainstream in the Nigerian police across board. And he has been focusing also in ensuring that the Nigerian police is gender responsive in its approach. Okay. That is both within and outside the Nigerian police force. There are a lot of policies that the IG has come up with. Like currently we are reviewing the entire curriculum of the Nigerian police force to be engendered, so that we look at those ages. And also the same thing, the police regulation is being reviewed to make sure that those sections of the police regulation that are not gender sensitive, that discriminate the female gender, are expunged completely out of the police regulation. So these are some policies, these are steps that the IG is taking to ensure that the Nigerian police is a gender equal, gender responsive police security institution in line with the United Nations Security Council Resolution 1325.
Aside from this present administration, has the female police, have it so good in the past? Talking about some of the strategic positions female police officers are occupying now, because we've seen an increase as far as holding strategic office is concerned. Yeah. Has the women folk in the police had it so good in the past?
I don't know whether we say they have had it. It's a journey. It's a journey from 1955 to 2025, 70 years. It's one step at a time. Okay. As I said, from limited responsibilities or limited roles to very higher and sensitive roles in the police. So it's, and at every stage there has been improvement in terms of opportunities that are given to women. So of course, different IGPs within the Nigerian police force have come with different initiatives in terms, but I can tell you this is one good time that I want to call it. It is women police time. It is female o'clock in the Nigerian police force.
But let's not leave out, some of the challenges that the female police officers go through, especially in the aspect of cultural norms, stereotypes, which could make them resist, being part of active participatory roles that they can be given because of certain cultural barriers. I know that the House of Reps recently is pushing for the amendment of the Police Act to see how they can expand opportunities for women to join and advance, in the force. But if you could share with us some of these challenges that have been there and that is being addressed presently by the current administration.
Yes, definitely Nigeria is a patriarchal society.
We know that.
Run away from it, yes. And you need a leader that is proactive, that is gender sensitive, to be able to take those steps to make the changes. And that's why I said the IGP, current IGP, Kaede Egbetokun, has put in place and bring in policies to ensure that gender is mainstream in the Nigerian police. The Nigerian police is an equal opportunity institution. And currently, there was a bill to amend the Police Act.
Yes,
on increasing the quota for the recruitment of women to at least between 15 to 20%.
Yes, 15%.
And I can tell you that the IG is with it, because I remembered when a letter came from the National Assembly about that bill coming up. IG endorsed it to me to represent the women police so that we'll go there and be part of that hearing. So you can see the commitment, the level of commitment by the Inspector General of Police to ensure that women are given equal opportunity, or it's to ensure that the Nigerian police is an equal opportunity institution.
Just to follow up to that,
yes.
If you could recall or recount, some of the challenges that women police officers go through. You're also a woman yourself, and I want to believe you've had your own share of challenges. Yeah. You want to share that with us?
Well, you see, as I said, Nigerian society is patriarchy. Definitely there are issues before now, and even currently you cannot, there is no time that you can say there is a zero completely. Every matter has been resolved.
Yes.
So, and as I said, it's a journey. These issues as they are being raised, and one of them is to make sure that our legal framework does not discriminate, and that's what we're in the process now, reviewing the police regulation. Yes, of course, as a woman, there are challenges. It's difficult to be a woman, to be a mother,
a wife,
to be a wife, to be a police officer.
And you want to be up there.
And you want to be up there. And especially you come out from the police academy, police college. At that time, you are at your productive age. You want to get married. You want to also start having children. Then definitely they will be struggling. And the police, as it is now, we are having compassionate posting to a certain extent, whereby we try as much as possible not to move the women, too often, especially at that particular age. At this age, you move me, it won't be a problem.
Yes.
You understand?
Because your kids are grown.
Absolutely. So as you grow in the rank, taking higher responsibilities, you won't be saying, oh, I have a small baby. So, but there is compassion to look at the young female police officers that are now at their productive age, to make sure that their families do not suffer just because you are doing police.
You know why I asked that question?
Yeah.
I'm a daughter of a policewoman.
Wow.
So I saw the whole challenges. So I could,
Yes,
tell.
yes, I know. It's quite difficult, really, to be a woman, a wife, and a police officer.
It's not easy.
Definitely, it's not easy. So, but the IG is looking at ways to make sure that things is not equal. And what is it by gender mainstreaming? Just to look at it from different perspectives of the two genders that we have. From the perspective of a woman and from the perspective of a man. What is it that you need as a man to be able to function effectively? What is it that a woman needs for her to be able to function effectively as a police officer?
Yeah.
Because my own needs are different from the needs of a man.
Yes.
The needs of a man are different. Yes. So that's where we want to mainstream, to ensure that the Nigerian police is gender sensitive within, so that we make it easy for both our men and women police officers to be able to work effectively, being able to respond to their various needs that will create that enabling environment for them to function effectively.
All right, AIG Aisha, in 1955, we had about 20 women who got enlisted into the force.
Yes.
And we don't know if you can tell us currently, can you give us an accurate number of female police officers currently in the Nigeria Police Force?
What I can tell you is the population of women police is between, I can't tell you exact figure, is within 10 to 12% of the entire police population. That's what women make. And that is why in the gender policy, we have to be able to cover the gender gap in terms of recruitment, in terms of leadership position, and so on and so forth. And that's why I also mentioned the issue of the bill that is currently in the National Assembly. It's also looking at the issues of recruitment, issues of having women, in different positions. And I'm also happy to mention that the Inspector General of Police just came up with a policy of mentorship, specifically leadership and mentorship program for women, specifically to be able to guide those young girls across the road. And we are doing training with support from UNDP and the German government, where we are now training women leaders and mentors. So we start pairing them up to make it easy for the young female police officers, so that at least they will be able to move with their peers. The men do not leave them behind. We prepare them for leadership. We prepare them to share experiences with their senior colleagues, like some of us so that we'll be able to lead them, to guide them. Those potholes that we pass through, tell them, hey, there's a pothole in this particular place.
Okay. The last female police officer that has gotten to the rank of DIG in the force happens to be DIG Okoronko.
Yes.
We don't know if...
No, after Okoronko, there was Chintua.
Okay.
Yes. There was Peace Abdallah.
Okay.
Yes, all these were after her.
So aside from those ones, we don't know if there is a bottleneck for the female police officer to get to the DIG-ship level currently.
There is no bottleneck. The only bottleneck is, you see, in police, there are processes, there are requirements. Just because you are a woman doesn't mean that they will just give you rank. Do you understand? So you have to have those, maybe you have, there's seniority also. Okay. So if you are my senior and I'm your junior, because I'm a woman does not mean that they will close their eyes and just pick you and put you on the seat. So it's a matter of once you any woman that has the minimum requirement, and then you are at that seniority position to become a DIG. Of course, you can become a DIG. Okay.
What about women officers? Have they participated in high-risk units? I'm talking SWAT now. You know, bomb disposal, cybercrime. Do we have women police officers there?
Oh, many.
Okay.
Currently, as I'm talking to you, the Commissioner of Police in charge of EOD is a woman.
Fantastic.
Hawa Ibrahim. Yes,
okay.
She's a Commissioner of Police. She's in charge of EOD. So we have so many other women. We have a Deputy Commissioner of Police who is the second in command in SIS, DCP Grace Longe. You understand? Yeah. And currently, we have 3 of our female AIGs that are occupying the position of the commandant of the 3 key police training institutions. Police College Ikeja is being headed by a woman. Okay. Police College Kaduna is being headed by a woman. Kaduna, you understand? Oji River is a woman. So we have women occupying very strategic positions in the Nigeria. If you can entrust women with their training institutions, I mean, you've given them the maximum trust to nurture the next generation of police officers that are coming in.
And we can leave out the aspect of the gender desk in the force. Yeah. It's very important, especially when we have cases of domestic violence and sexual assault. Yeah. Would you say, and it's always, well, from what we've gathered, let me say intelligence gathering, it's always better. Police yourself. Yeah, it's always better when you have, you know, women more in that department, because they understand what these women are going through as a woman to woman. Does the force has enough manpower, you know, to cater for the demand of cases? We know the number of cases of domestic violence, sexual assault, and all of that, especially across the country, and not just for the FCD.
Thank you very much. Currently, we have a gender unit. I am the first gender advisor to the Inspector General of Police. We have a Deputy Commissioner of Police, Rita, who is in charge of gender at the Force CID, mainly focusing on investigating cases of GBV. Okay. In all the 36 states of the Federation, including the Federal Capital Territory, we have gender desk officers, and they also have staff. And I can tell you that we have intentionally taken time to build their capacity in terms of their response to gender-based violence. And then just a few months back, the Inspector General of Police, seeing that he wants to enhance police response to gender-based violence, now approved the establishment of expanding the gender desk from command level to divisional level. So it means that every division in Nigeria today
should have it.
Yes, have a gender desk, because we've had cases where some divisions are very far away from the command, and sometimes we lose those evidences that will be able to help you to prosecute cases. Maybe sometimes 5 hours, 6 hours from one division. So in that case, IG now said, no, I think we should be able to enhance our response to gender. He now expanded this gender desk up to the divisional level. And we're building capacity. We are also opening our gender labs in all the 6 geopolitical zones with support from UNDP and other partners. We are working very hard. So yes, we have the manpower and we have the capacity to do that. And the IG also has given approval. We have just developed the Nigerian Police Gender GBV Training Manual, and the Standard Operating Procedure for Police Response to Gender-Based Violence, which the IG will also unveil during the launch, will launch it during the celebration of the Nigerian Police 70 years of women in policing. So we're doing a lot in terms of our police response to cases of gender-based violence. I can assure you the Inspector General of Police, members of management, and the entire police have zero tolerance to gender-based violence in whatever form it comes.
Okay.
All right, Ma. With the new gender desk office, established down to the divisional level, are we going to see, more of police women occupying those offices?
Yes, I remember Drew to ask, maybe I missed on that, whether those gender desks are all women. They are not all women, but most of them, I can tell you, they are women.
Okay.
There are men that are also very good in handling those cases. The fact that they are men doesn't mean that they cannot handle cases of gender-based violence. So, but most of our gender desk officers are women.
Okay.
Yes. So it will open up more positions for them at the divisional level as well.
Okay.
Yes.
And I know that based on what you've shared with us, the gender responsive mechanisms and all of that, now you talked about training in some aspect on a larger scale, especially for women police officers who serve at the rural communities. Do they also have that kind of opportunity those in the states, at the state level or the federal level have?
Opportunity in terms
of training.
Oh, yes. In fact, as I'm telling you, I spoke to you about the mentorship program that we have.
Yes, UNDP, the
Yes,
German.
we had the first set of 40 women that we trained leadership development and mentorship. We are going to have the second cohort. And all this, I mean, the officers that are nominated to attend these courses do not come only from Abuja and Lagos, no. They are coming from all the 36 states of the Federation, including the Federal Capital Territory. So it's well spread. So each time we have opportunity to train, we send signal out to all the state commands to send in nomination, or at times we do nominate. If they are centered for the gender days, we call them with signal, and then they come and they have their training. So every woman, every police officer has the opportunity to get training. There's a training department, so that if there's training, they do select. So it's not just about the headquarters. It's Nigeria Police. Everybody is involved in terms of capacity building. Everybody benefit from it. And
recently, the training department, in collaboration with the GS Foundation and the UNDP, has been training some of the gender desk officers here in Abuja. And talking about training to those at the divisional police office, will they have similar opportunity like the ones who had at the state command level?
You see, that is why we came with a standardized training manual for gender-based violence. That manual, and we are enforced, making sure that everybody gets the same kind of training. And it has been adopted by the Nigerian Police as the training manual for police on gender-based violence. We will start using them as of now. Once IG officially, we've started using it, but it's in soft copy, but it's going to be formally launched by the IG during the celebration on the 4th of December 2025. So this one single training manual will be, it's like in primary school, government school, they have approved textbook for English. They have approved textbook for mathematics, or that the Federal Ministry of Education approves as a training, as a book, textbook for a particular subject matter. It's the same thing with the Nigerian Police. We adopt it under our guidance, and we come with a unified training manual, so that every policeman, the policeman that is in Abuja and the one in Sokoto, in Port Harcourt, they receive the same form of training, and there's a standard operating procedure of how they will be if there's any case of gender-based violence, step by step, procedure on how to respond as a guidance for every police officer.
Okay, AIG Baju, we have to take a break, and when we come back, we'll begin the conversation on the 7 decades. I'm eager to hear about all the celebration, but you stay tuned.
What are we doing as a nation to, first of all, settle our teeming populace, especially the
NTA's political package, with a third eye on the nation's political scene? I am Fisa Ogunfuyi. Welcome.
You have to be very careful giving space to people who are obviously sponsored to further the agenda of some other groups.
We have a lot of questions. A lot of questions in a closed-door sessions. Some of these issues, some of the problems bedeviling of their.
In fact, between June 1st and July 17, 19-point-something billion has left the coffers of the NDDC.
I can say my constituency, they need everything because we don't have anything.
MFA for digital literacy is a bot that you can use, you can interact to learn more about digital literacy.
Hello, it's our pleasure to have you join us on platform. I'm Ruth Aguwele.
What is the yardstick for measuring everybody's moral integrity? It's critical at this point in time.
How daunting has that been for the Institute in getting them abreast with all the legislative procedures?
The fact remains that one training workshop is not enough.
Thank you for staying tuned. The conversation is on assessing 7 decades of women policing in Nigeria. 7 decades, that's a lot. So let's delve into the celebration. You mentioned earlier it's going to be in December, and I want to believe there are a lot of activities lined up for that. I hear historical features that you're bringing past women, women who have retired from the force. So you fill us in.
Thank you very much. We are excited.
I can feel the excitement for you.
Waiting for it to start, to begin. Actually, the program is starting on the 29th of November.
Okay.
That's about less than 2 weeks, right? We're starting with a walk. We call it Women Police Walk Against Gender-Based Violence. And coincidentally, the 16 days of activism, it will soon start. So it actually flows into it. So we're going to start with a 5-kilometer walk against gender-based violence, and we're inviting you. I hope you will join us for this walk. And on that day, we're also going to do outreach program because it's 70 years of courage and resilience. We're also inspiring the next future generation of women that will want to have a career in policing. So as part of our inspiring these young girls, we're going to talk to them about their career, the opportunities that are there for women in the Nigerian police. And also during that time, to just celebrate with them, we're going to share hygiene packs, so about 1,500 women, girls, in various schools, and we...
Here in the FCT or across?
Well, like the work, the FCT, this program is actually going to be, some of the programs, not all, will be replicated in the 36 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory. So the work, the commands will come up with their own programs, but they are also going to do this outreach program in secondary schools to inspire young girls that want to have career. And for us in the Federal Capital Territory, for us at the Force Headquarters, now we're together with SCT and then the Zone 7, we are going to give out some hygiene packs, about 1,500 girls, that comprises reusable pads, hygiene packs, in soap, roll-on, toothpaste, toothbrush, and so many other goodies that we're going to share to these girls on Saturday, the 29th. And then we'll do that work, police women, policemen, women from other security agencies, more in media like you, and all friends and well-wishers of the police will join us to work against gender-based violence. That is on the 29th of November. Then on the 1st of December, the Inspector General of Police has declared it as a all-women special duty day. Both at the headquarters, the zones, and the commands, whereby we want to showcase leadership skills of women. So on that day, we are going to be showcasing women leaders doing, on that day, even the people around, like, normally when the IG moves, the entire security team, on that day, all of them are going to be women, operational women that are going to protect our IG. His ADC is going to be a woman.
Wow.
The PSO to the IG would be a woman. Wow. The ADC to the IG is going to be a woman. The orderly, everybody around him. And then we are going to have management breakfast meeting, women leadership on that day, on Monday the 1st. And then at the stage, we also expect them to replicate. Okay. That's all-female work day. Okay. So then the main event, so this outreach program would continue in the state. They can go anywhere to do their own outreach. There's no restriction. They can choose what they want to do. But for us here in the force headquarters, this is what we're going to do. But the leadership display for women will be replicated also. Then on the 4th, that's the grand finale. Yeah. So we are going to have representatives from all the 36 states of the Federation, and the zones, they will come over to Abuja. It will now culminate into a grand event at the Police Resource Center. And the First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Her Excellency Senator Oluremi Tinubu, will be the special guest of honor of that, as the mother of the nation, will be the special guest of honor on that day. And the keynote speaker, you remembered when we had the Nigerian women, it was trending when we had this chief of police in the Bahamas. Yes. Shanta Noels. She will be our keynote speaker. She's coming all the way from Bahamas to come and share experience. And we have other women. And during that time, we also have some capacity building training. There's going to be intergenerational conversation because we are going to invite some of we can't invite everybody, but there will be good representation of our retired senior and junior women. Everybody, they will come to Abuja. We are going to have that intragenerational conversation so that we understand from their own point of view, we see what is happening, and the young ones that are also coming. So there will be that, and then on the 5th of December, there is going to be a big gala night where we're going to celebrate and appreciate some of our pioneer women. So, well, in a nutshell, that is... It's a packed full. It's a packed full almost a week-long program. All right.
AIG, how do you envision, the female person in the next decades, maybe in the next 10 years? How do you envision it? With all the policies that the Inspector General of Police is putting on board in place to make the Nigeria Police an equal opportunity institution, because there should be, at that time, there is going to be culture change from that patriarchal society. Once you have a law in place, you have policies in place that the leadership puts, then it becomes institutionalized. Yeah. So I see great change, see great opportunity for women police, because the current Inspector General of Police is making sure that he's bringing on board policies that will give everybody equal opportunity.
And talking about this equal opportunity, will this celebration, be a benchmark to elevate active gender participation in the force?
There's active gender participation.
I mean, beyond the celebration. Will you use the platform, to talk about how women can play strategic roles, in adding value to the force?
Absolutely, absolutely. And just when you are congratulating me, I just want to chip in. I was in South Africa with some other female officers. We went for the IAWP conference, and we have been having conversation in the last 3 years to be able to have something that is more African, and a group of women in law enforcement that will be able to look at our own African issues, that will be able to speak to our own problems or things that we want to do within the African continent, including gender equality, equity, and so on and so forth, to ensure our institutions are gender responsive. We came up with the Association of Women in Law Enforcement in Africa, which I emerged as the pioneer president. And next year, we're going to host the first conference of that association. These all are to be able to give more opportunities for women, whereby we'll be able to address our own issues, to resolve our own problems and challenges at the African level.
So what about the aspect, of the past police female officers who have served? What role would they be playing during the celebration? Would they be honored with awards, or would they be given a room, to be empowered? What is the need for them?
Yeah, we are going to invite them definitely, and that's, I said, we are going to have intergenerational conversation. At that time, I expect we should be able to come with concrete things that we want to do. Definitely at the end of this celebration, there's going to be a communique of those decisions that we are going to take that will guide the next steps that we are going to take in relation to us that are still in service and those that have retired. Yes, the gala night is to celebrate them. We are also celebrating ourselves, but celebrating them. Yes, we will recognize some of them because we are looking for them, all of them, those that we can reach, to bring them to say, hey, we appreciate you for starting, opening the doors for us to be where we are today. We celebrate them of their resilience, their commitment, their contributions during their own time, because it is those experiences that we have that we are now improving on it. But definitely, at the end of the whole of this celebration, we should be able to come up with a communique that will now tell you the steps, the position, or what we intend to, or the next step that we want to take as women, both in service and in retirement.
Okay, with all of this, I don't know, what message do you have for women or young women out there who, are thinking of having a career in the force?
Join the force. There's so much opportunity for women in the force. They're gone are the days where women say that they don't want to join the force. Though there are still some people that have hesitations. But I want to assure them that there's so much opportunity in the Nigerian police. If I can be where I am today as an Assistant Inspector General of Police, definitely there's so much room for everybody to thrive. And that's why we are now saying part of is that we want to inspire the next generation of women. You go to schools and you talk to girls or to children, what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be a doctor. Say, yes, you can be a doctor and also be a police officer, because we have doctors in the police. There are veterinary doctors, there are human doctors. We are all in the police. You have a career in the police. Every profession has a space in the Nigerian police. I want to be a pilot. Oh, yes, you can be a pilot and still be a police officer, because we have pilots in the police. I want to be engineer. We have engineers. So there are a lot of, every profession, educationists, lawyers, everybody has a role to play in the, and there's so much opportunity for you to grow and and make your impact.
You know, which that's the aspect of mentorship.
Yes.
So is there like a program ongoing where, you know, this campaign, you know, is carried out? You know, to start instilling in these young ones, especially in secondary schools, even primary schools, you know, to understand that, because that's one way you can bridge this gap of having more female into the force.
Yes. To be honest, we haven't done anything yet, but it is in the pipeline. Today we had a meeting with some of our partners, and I was there, and the DIG training was there, and we're talking about covering the gender gap in the police.
Yeah.
And we're trying to see what do. We need a lot of advocacy. We need a lot of mentorship, like you said, career talk to young. Because just like the DIG, Frank said, DIG training, he was looking at it. It depends on where you're coming from. He said during the recruitment, maybe in the East and some other places, when you are recruiting, you see more women coming forward to want to join the police. When you come to the North, my own side, you find that there are too many men, the girls are not coming to. So what is it that we can do differently to see how we can encourage more girls, let's say from the North, to be able to. And one of the things that we have also done is also reviewing our uniform policies over the years. If you can see recently, we have the opportunity to cover your hair. Which
the one initiative you're driving.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it is just to make it an equal opportunity institution, that because of either your religious belief or culture, that it would not hinder you from joining the force. So those are some of the programs. Okay. And definitely we're looking at coming up with advocacy programs, how we can do maybe school programs to talk to young girls specifically, or even boys, for them to be able to see the opportunities that are there in the Nigerian police force.
And even carrying religious and traditional leaders along, because when they speak to these people they adhere.
Yes, definitely.
What future do you see, you know, gender policing, especially women in Nigeria? What is the future you envisage?
I see a very bright future. I see a future whereby all forms, because for now, as we are reviewing the police act, regulation act and everything, a future where there's you remove everything that is discriminatory. There's a playground, they said, right? Where everybody can play his role and be able to achieve whatever he wants to achieve. Everybody has equal opportunity in the Nigerian police force, irrespective of your gender, irrespective of your tribe, irrespective of your religion.
I like the fact you mentioned irrespective of your religion, because that is one norm that has to change, because it is service to humanity and to the nation.
Absolutely.
We want to thank you, AIG Aishatu Abubakar. Thank you, Baju. Thank you so much. And keep up the good work. We can't wait, you know, for that celebration time to come. So I'm sure NTA will continue to give its own support.
Thank you.
To the force.
And I look forward to seeing you, all of you.
Fantastic.
For all the programs. Join us. The walk, please come out and let's walk against gender-based violence.
Yes.
Come, let's celebrate our women.
Yes.
7 decades of women in policing in Nigeria.
AIG Aishatu Baju, MNI, thank you once again for coming on platform.
Thank you. Thank you, Ruth. Thank you, Francis, my friend.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Our he for she.
Our he for she, yes. That's you know, the Inspector General of Police has been crowned as a he for she Inspector General of Police.
Fantastic.
We truly appreciate all the beautiful policies that is bringing into the force, the changes that is bringing into the force.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Francis Fong, our security correspondent.
Thank you, Ruth,
for your participation on platform.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we've been talking, assessing 7 decades of women in the police force in Nigeria. 7 decades is a lot, and I want to use this opportunity to salute your courage, your resilience, professionalism, integrity, your excellence and service. Salute to the women in the Nigeria Police Force. I'm Ruth Aguwele, and that's Platform.